Students, there is one very important thing about the first poem which we have to study, written by Kamla Das, and the title is My Mother at 66. One very important point which we cannot miss, which we cannot leave, is and felt that the line from the poem, I'm reading the line from the poem, it's there in page number 91 of Flamingo, that I felt that old familiar ache, the childhood fear. Kamla Das has mentioned this line in the poem. I felt that old familiar ache, the childhood fear. Why Kamla Das has used these words here in this poem? What is that old familiar ache? What is ache? A-C-H-E. Ache is equal to pain. P-A-I-N, pain. Dard. Ache is equal to pain. P-A-I-N, pain. And what is the old childhood's fear Kamla Das is talking about? What is that? I told you that anyone cannot become a poet by writing few lines. There should be the insight of a poet. You must have the insight of a poet. You must have the vision of a writer. You must have the outlook of a novelist. You must have the overview of a dramatist. Then only you can create literature, you can write literature, and that will have universal feeling, universal appeal, and universality. If the poem is prescribed in your syllabus, there is something in this poem, so that NCERT has added this poem written by Kamla Das. Isn't it? Kamla Das has talked about familiar ache and childhood fear. She is adult now. She is writing her poem, and the poem is published in books, being read in books, and she was paid also for that. So why the childhood fear comes back to her? What is that old familiar ache which she feels in her mind and heart? Now I will ask a question and you have to answer. That remember those days when you were a child, 2 years, 3 years old, and when your mother goes somewhere, when she used to go somewhere, you started crying like anything. At that point of time, you used to feel that your mother has gone somewhere and she will not come back, and you are alone in this world. Didn't you feel that? The same feeling is there in the mind of Kamla Das. She is feeling as if she is a child, and the next time she will visit Malabar, she will not be able to see her mother because her mother is very weak. She is very old and she may die any time. That's why she felt the familiar ache or pain in her mind and heart, the pain or the fear of losing the mother. So what if she is a grown up? So what if she is an adult? Even when you are 17-year-old, but your mother and father do ask that where are you? Please don't go near any type of falls, Hundru fall or any fall. Be there, go and study and come back. Because they have care for you. They have love, care, attention, and affection for you. That's why they tell you, they guide you every time. And doesn't matter you grow 45, 46-year-old, your mother will take care of you like she is taking care of a child of 2 year or 1 year old. This is the fact. So Kamla Das, even as an adult, she has the fear in her mind of losing the mother forever and ever and ever, and she will become lonely, she will become motherless. That's why she has used these words in this poem. That I felt the old familiar ache, the childhood fear. Now I hope everything being interpreted to you, it's very, very clear, right? Try to read the poem not one time, two times, but many a times, because lines from the poem will come during the examination. And you have to explain the lines. You have to remember that which line is being taken from which poem. Who is the writer of that particular line or that particular poem? Otherwise, you'll not be able to answer in a perfect way. You'll not be able to score good marks. So, what you have to do? You have to read each and every poem 10 times, 20 times, right? And you have to know that which poem is written by whom, which poem is written by which poet. Then only you can score good marks, right? Now let's discuss the question and answer of the first poem, My Mother at 66. Now the question arises that which may be the most important questions of this. First of all, the first four lines you have to read it many a times. In the examination, what happens that the first four lines of the poem will be given, or the last four lines of the poem will be given, and you'll be asked the first question, name the poem and the poet. And you have to answer that this poem, this line has been taken from My Mother at 66. This poem is written by Kamla Das, who was born in the year 1934 and died in the year 2009. You have to give the fact. You cannot make a teacher fool. So you have to write the fact, right, in order to get the best. Now the second question is, what is the context of this line? Explain this line. And you have to explain in the same way as I have explained the poem for you, line by line, word by word. Now the important question, what is the kind of pen and ink that the poet fills? What kind of ink and pen that the poet fills in this line? Then you have to write that the poem is fearful. She has a fear in her mind that she will lose her mother one day or the other. She has the fear in her mind that the next time when she will visit Malabar, Kerala, her parents' home, the mother would not be there, she would have died. That's why she feels the old familiar ache, the childhood fear of losing her mother forever and ever. The next question, which may be asked in your final examination, that why are the young trees described as sprinting? Why do the young trees described as sprinting? The trees are not sprinting. The trees are fixed. The trees are immovable. They cannot move. But it's the car which is running at a very high speed. And when you look at a running vehicle, a speedy vehicle outside the window, you will feel as if the houses, the trees, the bushes, the trees, they are sprinting, they are running at a very high speed. Right? So you have to answer in this way. Okay, now the third question. Why has the poet brought in the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes? Why has the poet brought the image of merry children spilling out of their homes? And as I discussed with you people during the poem, that Kamla Das herself is very sad. She is very sorrowful at the growing age of her mother. She is sad that her mother is dozing open mouthed. She is sad that maybe her mother will not be there the next year. She is sad, so she looks at the children who are very happy, who are merry. Merry is equal to happy. Right, so what you have to write? That since Kamla Das herself is very sad at the growing age of her mother, because her mother is 66-year-old and she may die anytime, maybe the next time when she will visit the Malabar, she may not be able to see her mother again. That's why, to put that thought away, she looks at merry children spilling out of their homes. She has used contradiction. She has used juxtaposition to juxtaposition her thought that she is old, children are young. So the opposite of old is young. That's why she has used the imagery of merry children spilling out of their home. That's what you have to write in this answer. In the next class, I will discuss the rest of the questions of the first poem, My Mother at 66. Thank you.